Hey, what is up guys? Welcome to my no BS best Frost DK build for the patch 10.2.7 first week of season 4 of Dragonflight. Today in this video we're gonna talk about the best stats, what are the best in slot items and how and where to get them, and then I will be showing you guys the best talents possible, and also I will be including the best PvP talents. And then we're gonna jump straight into the full burst rotation, so you guys are gonna be able to follow along pretty easily. And I will be including some macros in the description down below, so you don't want to miss out on them. All right, so as for the best stats possible for Frost DK, I got right here, this player is the best solo shuffle player right now in the whole world playing Frost DK, and we're gonna take a look at the stats. Okay, so we got versatility. You need 30% versatility no matter the character that you're playing. More than that is overkill. But you know, it is pretty hard at this moment to get perfectly accurate with that 30%. The next best stat that you absolutely need is your mastery. As much mastery as possible. That's where the Frost DK damage comes from. And then you want to go into haste, because you kind of need some haste, or else your global cooldowns, your GCDs, are going to feel like absolute crap. Okay, the last stat that we don't want any of it is critical strike. Again, 30% versatility, as much mastery as you can, and then the rest goes into haste. We don't care about crit at all. For your helm, you want mastery helm. For your necklace, mastery necklace with mastery and haste gems. For your shoulders, it's pretty easy. You only need to cap your conquest points, okay, to get the skewers of the Ryzen Nightmare. And then what happens is you only have to go to the PvP area in Valdraken, which is right here. Okay, you talk to Calderax, and then you can buy those shoulders. Okay, so what's going on here is they're not actually tier set. So what you need to do is buy, no matter the piece, it doesn't matter, you will have to go towards the revival catalyst, which I'm going to show you guys where it is right now. So I'm going to show you guys where is the revival catalyst exactly to convert your piece of conquest into a piece of tier set. So we are right now in tier hold. Okay, Valdraken is right there. We are flying towards tier hold, and then in the mountain there's a little like an entrance right here. You need to get inside of it, and then there's the revival catalyst. You're gonna click on it, drag your shoulders from your inventory into this place right here, revival catalyst, and then you will be transforming that piece into a piece of tier set. So that's how you get that piece of shoulder. All right, so let's keep going. For your cape, you want a haste and versatility cape, because as I've explained, you kind of need some haste to make Frost DK work right now, or else it is going to feel super clunky and slow. For your chest, you need haste chest with sustain, strength, enchant. Oh yeah, and for your cape, you need homebound speed. For your wrist, you need mastery wrist with speed enchant. For your gauntlets, you're gonna need mastery gauntlets. For your waist, mastery waist. For your legs, okay, so right now I'm going to explain you guys how this dude actually got that piece. It's pretty simple. All you need to do basically is get to 1600 in rated PvP, be it in solo shuffle, be it in rated arenas or RBGs, okay? And once you actually get that 1600 rating, you will be able to go and exchange the mark of mastery that you receive for a piece of tier set of your choice. And then all you need to do once you get that mark of mastery is come in Valdraken right here. I'm showing you guys on the map. You enter that place, you talk to Restrosa, and then you can buy those legs, which are going to be a best in slot for sure for your Frost DK. Absolutely. Though make sure you don't buy from the left column, okay, because those are PvE pieces, player versus environment, and you don't want those because they're not going to be as good in PvP. You want those pieces right there, which are PvP pieces. All right, so next up is going to be Infurious War Boots of Impunity with Mastery. Those you need to craft them at the work orders. So you're wondering right now, where and how do I get those? It's pretty simple. All you need to do is talk to Militia. She gives you a couple of quests. You complete those, and they're gonna give you 2 Sparks of Awakening. And then you need to combine them, of course. And then the next step is to do some PvP rated PvP whatever. When you win your first game, you're gonna get Artisans Consortium, and then you accept that quest. It is going to require you to talk to Calderax. Once you do, you will be receiving Draconic Trophy of Conquest. You get 2 of those, okay? So then you are almost done with getting those boots. I'm gonna show you guys where to go to craft them. Once you have that Spark of Awakening and also those Trophy of Conquest, all you need to do is go in Valdraken, where my marker is, my cursor right here. We're gonna go add the work orders. You talk to this goblin, and then Impunity. All right, Infurious War Boots of Impunity. Click on it. You drag your Spark of Awakening, and then Draconic Trophy of Conquest. You gather those ingredients that you can buy at the auction house. Then you can ask players to craft that piece for you, which you will receive by mail. For the rings, of course, you're gonna need 1 haste ring, you're gonna need 1 mastery ring, and you want haste enchants on those rings. Okay, so for the trinkets, it's pretty simple. We're gonna be running with Draconic, Aspirant's Badge of Ferocity, because it's a 1-minute CD and it lines perfectly with your Pillar of Frost, which is also a 1-minute CD. So whenever you're gonna use Pillar of Frost, you will want to use your Aspirant's Badge of Ferocity. But don't worry, it's part of the macro section that I'm talking about. I will be linking down a macro that is going to use both of these abilities together, your Badge of Ferocity and your Pillar of Frost at the same time. So it saves a bunch of keybinds basically. And then you want Draconic Aspirant's Medallion. Don't play adaptation, you want Draconic Aspirant's Medallion, okay? So on your weapon, what you need is Mastery weapon, and also you need the Rune of the Fallen Crusader. Okay, it's very important right now because DKs are pretty squishy and you will be needing that extra healings, and you're gonna understand where this is going. I'm gonna explain you guys more in details. Then I will be explaining you guys why we are playing with that specific rune, because we are actually going with Unholy Bound, which increases the effectiveness of your Rune Forge effects by 20%. On top of that, we're also playing with the PvP talent, which is called Bloodforge Armor, which makes it so that every time you death strike, it reduces all physical damage taken by 20%. Okay, if you're not playing against melee characters, you want to switch that one. Death Shield is a pretty good one. Or Spell Warden is absolutely bonkers against spellcasters too. It makes your anti-magic shell have a smaller cooldown, which actually makes you a lot more tanky against caster characters. So now that you know why we are choosing Rune of the Fallen Crusader, we're gonna check the whole freaking best build for Frostdeacon in Season 4, okay? So we're playing with Icebreaker. The reason why is your tier set actually increases the damage of Howling Blast by a ton. And then what happens is Icebreaker further increases the amount of damage that your Howling Blast actually deals to the target. So that only makes sense. This is what sucks with the tier sets. You're kind of forced into playing the meta build. We are still playing with Chill Streak. Okay, we're playing with Enduring Chill. The reason why, it makes it a lot easier for you guys to get the max amount of damage from your Chill Streak, because it increases its bounce effect, okay, by 2 yards, and every time it actually deals damage, it has a 25% chance to bounce an additional time. We're back playing with Frostworm's Fury. Yes, big AoE stuns. We're back at it because the tier set actually increases the damage of your Frostworm's Fury. And if you did not know the additional effects, we're gonna look at it very fast, okay? So Howling Blast damage increased by 20%. Consuming Rim increases the damage of your next from Frostworm's Fury by 5%, stacking to 10 times. So that means 50% more damage on your Frostworm's Fury. Pillar of Frost calls a Frostworm's Fury at 30% effectiveness. So you understand now why we're actually playing with that. We're kind of forced into playing it with the tier set, but it is what it is. And then the fourth set, Frostworm's Fury causes enemies hit to take 20% increased damage from your critical strikes for 12 seconds. That is absolutely bonkers, and you are kind of forced into playing it if you want to deal as much damage as possible. We kind of have no choice at this point. One more point, and then your Frostworm's Fury now has 50% reduced cooldown and freezes all enemies hit for 3 seconds, which is a big AoE stun. It's kind of freaking fun, I won't lie. Why Frostworm's Fury is so good? Watch this, okay? I'm gonna press my ability Frostworm's Fury right now. Bam! 3 seconds AoE stun on everything. Bone Grinder. Consuming Killing Machine grants 1% critical strike chance for 10 seconds, stacking up to 5 times. At 5 stacks, your next Killing Machine consumes the stacks and grants you 20% increased frost damage for 10 seconds. So, you remember when I told you guys that the tier set actually increases whenever you Frostworm's Fury into everything, it causes your enemies to take 20% increased damage from your critical strikes for 12 seconds. Well, Bone Grinder is the reason why it's super OP. Cold-Blooded Rage. Frost strikes have a 20% chance on critical strikes to grant Killing Machine. So what happens is whenever we press Pillar of Frost and we do hit someone with Frost Strike, it automatically gives you a free Obliterate with the Killing Machine proc, and that Obliterate hits for crazy amounts, okay? Then we got Obliteration. While Pillar of Frost is active, Frost Strike and Howling Blast always grant Killing Machine and have 30% chance to generate a rune. Absolutely bonkers, best in slot right now for Frost DK. We're also playing with a single Empower Rune weapon. In the last season, we used to pick 2 charges of Empower Rune weapon, but right now there are better options. As you might notice, we're not playing with a second charge right now on this tree. Okay? Look at this passive, okay? Frost Whelp's Aid. Every time you use Pillar of Frost, which is every 1 minute, you will summon a Frost Whelp that breathes on all enemies within 40 yards in a straight line in front of you for pretty bad damage, but each unique enemy hit by Frost Whelp's Aid grants you 8% mastery for 15 seconds, up to 40% mastery. So if you can nail and you're able to hit multiple people with your Pillar of Frost, you will increase your damage by a freaking swing amount. That is crazy. So that's your whole goal as a Frost DK, is to hit as many people as possible with your Pillar of Frost. So on the left tree, it's pretty much the same thing than the past seasons, okay? We're playing with Sacrificial Pact. Every time you're super low health, you can summon your goal, okay? And then sack your goal to gain a bunch of freaking health. Basically 25% of your maximum health, which is not bad at all. We're playing with Cold Thirst. Every time you interrupt someone with your Mind Freeze, it actually grants you a little bit of runic power and reduces the cooldown of your Mind Freeze, making it unpredictable, okay? Again, we're playing with Acclimation, makes your Icebolt Fortitude's cooldown reduced by 60%. If you didn't know, when you get stunned, you don't have to use your trinket. You can actually use Icebound Fortitude to get out of the stun. So that's a pretty good trick right there. We are playing with Proliferating Chill. Bro, I cannot pronounce that. Basically, when you Chain of Ice someone, okay, it will actually Chain of Ice someone else that is right next to your target, making it very good. your chains of ice now will be super annoying for your enemies. I don't know if I should spend too much time talking about the left tree, because it's literally the same than every season at this point. We're playing with Brittle, which makes it so that your disease weaken your enemy. So you're dealing 6% more damage on them for 5 seconds, which is not bad. This talent right here, which increases your strength by 2%. We're playing double grips. Okay, pretty good talent right there, because you're gonna need those grips. You're gonna need those grips to catch druids, the evokers, devastation evokers, you know. And then we're playing on unholy ground, because our death and decay will be part of our rotation, of course. Again, death's eco, because it gives us 2 grips instead of 1. Again, unholy bound, I've spoke about that ability. For your Runeforged weapon, we're playing Will of the Necropolis. Absolutely bonkers. You need to be playing this ability right here. Okay, Frost Decay is super squishy, and you're gonna need Will of the Necropolis. If you're playing with Bloodforged armor, it is going to make it 10 times better, because whenever you drop below 30% health, all damage is reduced by 35%. And with Bloodforged armor, when you death strike your enemy, it reduces all physical damage by 20% for 3 seconds. It is spammable, by the way, okay? And then it's going to grant you 55% damage reduction against melee characters when you are below 30% health. So then we're playing with Rune Mastery. Consuming a rune has a chance to increase your strength by 6% for 8 seconds. It's literally just a multiplier at this point. Then you want to absolutely play with Abomination Limb. You will need it, especially in Season 4 of Dragonflight. Every character is so mobile. If you can play with Abomination Limb and like drag them towards you one more time without using your grips, it is going to come in super clutch. Again, playing with Anti-Magic Barrier, which reduces the cooldown of your anti-magic shell by 20%. It increases the duration and amount absorbed by 40%. So if you're playing against caster, you replace Bloodforged armor with Spell Warden, which makes this passive even better. Again, still playing with Blinding Sleet is absolutely a must as a DK right now. Anti-Magic Zone, of course. And then finally, Wraith Walk. Okay, that thing, you save it for when you need to kite the enemies, and it's pretty hard for them to actually stop you whenever you use that ability. Asphyxiate goes super well with your Strangulate, because now you can stun and then silence back to back. All right, let's get into the full burst rotation. Dots on everything. All right, Howling Blast deals absolutely bonkers damage. I'm gonna go with Chill Streak, hitting everything with Frostworm. Alright, big damage. 500k, not bad, not bad. And then don't forget your Death and Decay. So you get that extra haste. On top of that, Death and Decay actually lets you cleave targets. Then at this point, we are running out of juice. But this is normal, this is Frost Decay. Outside of your big damage, you are dealing pretty much 0 damage. That's how Frost Decay is at the moment. And Frost Decay is more about big AoEs. And pretty much all of your damage comes from your Pillar of Frost. But good news, we're about to get it again. Okay, you want to keep your Chill Streak for when you are about to burst again. Alright, and then pretty much we just like do the usual rotation, which is literally like 3 keys. Okay, then when you're about to go again, Chill Streak, you line up your damage, your crossworms on everything, so you get that extra mastery, and we are still going strong. Okay, and at this point your damage is pretty much over. You're gonna wait until you have your next Pillar of Frost, and so on and so forth. Okay, so our biggest hit with Obliterate was 276k. Okay, and keep in mind, I have the worst gear possible. I don't have the best gear right now on my Frost Decay. Okay, I got 12 tunes to gear, and it's pretty hard to actually get best in slots on every character. So my gear is pretty bad right now. And if you have like the best gear possible, you can expect way more damage. Your Frost Fever actually dealing some pretty decent damage. Thus the reason why I've said you need to keep it active on as many people as possible. Your Frost Strike dealing 100k, okay? And keep in mind, if you actually use Death and Decay on the ground and there's multiple people on your Death and Decay, your obliterates will hit everything, okay? So that's pretty good trick right there. And then your Frost Worm's Fury hitting for pretty hard, 255k. Remember, we don't have the tier set. It would be hitting way harder. Howling Blast hitting for 200k. We don't even have like 2 pieces of tier set. Just imagine how crazy that would have been, man. Absolutely crazy. Merciless Winner, literally just there to get the stun off. Frost Whelps 8, as you guys remember, as I've explained you guys, you absolutely need to hit as many people as possible. I'm gonna use it right now, okay? Using only from Frostworm's Whelp. So it hits actually everything. It gives you 20% mastery, thus increasing your damage by a freaking ton. Alright, so I'm going to explain you guys which macros that I'm using that are actually making a big difference in the damage. This is my Pillar of Frost macro, okay? So whenever I hit my Pillar of Frost macro, it obviously casts Pillar of Frost. And then it uses my Draconic Aspirant's Badge of Ferocity. On top of that, it actually uses my Empower Rune weapon. So if you guys did not know, in this macro, we are also using Empower Rune weapon. What Empower Rune weapon does is actually bonkers. It increases your haste by 15% on top of your Death and Decay, which also increases your haste by 5%. So the two together, they actually increase your haste by 20%. On top of that, Empowered Rune Weapon generates 1 rune in 5 runic power instantly in every 5 seconds for 20 seconds. So it's pretty non-negligible. You actually need to press that Empower Rune Weapon. So don't worry, I will be including this macro down in the description, so you guys can only like copy and slap it into your macros. It's super simple. Then we got Anti-Magic Zone, which is a hover macro that I'm using wherever I'm pointing my mouse. When I use my macro, which is Anti-Magic Zone, I will be using Anti-Magic Zone in 1 hit without having to re-click the ability on the ground, which I think is pretty lame. It just goes off, like right away. And then finally, for the last macro, which I find super effective, is pretty much, again, a hover macro, but it makes your life a whole lot easier. It's pretty much the same thing as our Anti-Magic Zone. Whenever I point somewhere with my mouse and I hit my Death and Decay macro, bam, Death and Decay. So I don't have to re-click the ability on the ground, which makes it very much faster to usually just like do it in your rotation, basically, because you're gonna need to use your Death and Decay if you want to deal as much damage as possible with your Frost Decay, basically. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this best Frost Decay build for the Season 4 and Dragonflight. If you did, please hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button, help me by sharing my builds to your friends who would like to know about these best builds, and maybe on your Facebook groups. It will help me a ton. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Thanks a lot for watching. It really means a lot for me. And hopefully you guys have a ton of fun with Frost Decay in the Season 4 of Dragonflight. Have a ton of fun, guys, and see you in the next one, gentlemen. This was Clunky Doo.